Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Wednesday morning trading room. We'll get the screen share going on here and get the show on the road. Looks like yesterday was quite the day. Very, very bearish. Lots of volatility. Look at that volume bar. We haven't seen a volume bar like that in a very long time. Volume naturally increases as the contract matures, and then as it gets closer to expiration, volume will start to decrease. But a relatively neutral day on the close, and yet a very, very bearish day overall. Taking a look here now at the NASDAQ through the overnight, you can see pre-market here about an hour before things started to get a little bit active. But really, the overnight not going very far. There were some decent swings in here, but relatively range bound. And a little bit of a decline from yesterday's close. So there we go. 7,700 still seeming to be a bit of a sticky spot. And here we are this morning. The bears taking the bulls to the woodshed. Wow. Well, here we go. We're going to get a little bit of a hard edge bounce. It does appear as though the initial trend is to the downside, so you may be inclined to try a short. Currently, we're producing buy signals, as you can see. Wow, look at that. Okay, here's a number one signal. I am going to look to short below that. Number one signal followed up by a number three signal. The market moving really, really fast here this morning. Oh, I guess I better get this order out of the way, my stop loss. We're still going to see that downside momentum prevail, or are the buyers going to come back now? I'm going to stay with the downside. Ooh, I don't like moves like that, where the bars just explode across your screen. And I said I would be good and take profit on target. All right, let's bring the exit order back in. Kind of testing the bottom end. You can see here the profit target actually very close to the low of the morning. As we get about 3/4 of the way to the profit target, I will pull my stops down. Well, what happened to that early momentum? Here we go. Come on, let's see them try to push a little lower. Okay, one more bear bar. There we go. That should do it. Come on, get that profit target. Oh, they're kissing it. Get going. Oh, really? Order canceled. Can you believe it? Oh, that's trading. There they go. See, they just had to look back. Stinkers. Oh, okay, hold on. Screen share not working. 1 second. Sorry about that. All right, so what I was looking at was big decline out of the open, right? The market opens and literally falls out of bed, just a big move. Then we get this little bit of a counter move, which looks very much like a bear flag. From that counter move, we produced a number one signal, technically, because the clouds went out of sync, came back into sync. I would also consider it a number 3 signal, which is a hard head bounce. Oh, I guess it's a number 1 signal because it's the first signal after the clouds have crossed. So I was looking to get on board with this signal. The market just exploded, though, went a little bit past me, and so I was left with the number 3 signal to short. I did short it on or just below this bar right here. Stops were above the resistance zone, and we had a little bit of the back and forth. And then when the market attempted to move lower again, I brought my stops in, and it looked back just enough to tap me at break even. And then, of course, it continued lower. Scoundrels. So I had the trend. I thought I was being good with my stops, but even so, I was a little bit quick. That's too bad. That would have been a nice little trade, would have set my day right early. 10 minutes in, my trading day would be complete. Now we're getting a little bit close to quarter to the hour, so I may have to sit on my hands here for a little bit. No shortage of volatility today. Look at that pushback. Well, whereas we did have a bear trend, what's with all the volatility here the last couple of days? Has the president been allowed on Twitter again? I don't follow Twitter, so I can't say whether there's a post out there or not. But this is reminiscent of a tweet. Okay, so now we're hitting this little period of consolidation again. I'm going to look at this number 3 signal and look to buy it higher. And what I'm looking at here is this is essentially the same thing as what we saw on the downside, namely the market rally up, hit a little bit of a sideways period, and this time we actually had the follow through. So, you know, determining trend is always the most difficult part in trading. If you can see that the market is trending or attempting to trend, as it did in this case, and then either pulls back or hits a period of congestion, then that is your opportunity to get on board. You can see this was a little bit close to the quarter to the hour mark. I actually surprised that I took this signal here, but the setup was too tempting. Had I got in on the first hard edge bounce signal after the obvious rally up, it would have actually been a lot easier to achieve my profit target. But even so, it worked out. The number 3 signal, and here we go, the trend resuming. How much higher it will go? Well, that's up for debate. There is a little bit of a gap above us from where the market left off last night. But remember, the money is not made in trading often. The money is made in trading size. And what I mean by that, for those of you who haven't heard it before, is even though this trade yielded $100, and $100 may not seem like very much on the day. The fact of the matter is that's $100 per contract. If I do that every day, and there's 200 trading days in a year, that's $20,000 a year. Realistically, say probably between 17 and 20,000, because not every day is ideal and not every day will be a winner. But for easy math, let's stay with the $100 per day. $20,000 a year, single contract. Okay, you can't live on it, at least not in North America, but it's not bad. You can buy yourself a very nice vacation. You can buy the kids or the wife something nice, or the wives can buy the husband something nice. But at the very least, you can use that to build your account. So whereas you may have been trading a $10,000 account, now all of a sudden you're trading a $30,000 account. And you can take now that $30,000 account, and instead of trading one contract, you can probably trade two and maybe three. Well, now all of a sudden that 20,000 becomes 40 or 60,000. And as that grows, now you can trade 5 or 6 contracts. And that 20,000 becomes 100,000 and 120,000 and 150,000 and 200,000. And that's how it goes. And that's all from one $100 trade per day. Or, if you rather, two $50 trades a day. Yeah, Ray, I heard something like that too. Ray says, I believe the issue is on President Trump added a statement over the weekend to China to add pressure to them. He says he may increase the tariff taxes to China. Yeah, that would certainly add some volatility, all right. So here we are, not even a half hour into the trading day. My trading day would be done. I have met my 2-trade quota. I have finished in the black. And even though there's loads of opportunities here still, maybe we'll dip our toe in the water one more time. But you have to remember, every time you go back to the well, to the trading well, there's a chance that you could incur a loss. We don't like losses. So bear that in mind as you conduct your business. All right, so which way are they going to try to go from here? Even though we've seen some pretty big swings, overall, we're not that far off the open. Back and forth. Now we got a little bit of a sideways range going on. We're getting a trend change signal here on the Falcon coinciding with the signal here on the Raptor to short. I don't know. What do we think? Should we try to short it again? There's that number one signal. This would be a second push opportunity. Back down near that support zone again. Okay, that ain't gonna happen. Back now to the hard edge, and the bias is totally flipped. You see here on the Bollingers, we were fairly bearish. Now, all of a sudden, we've turned bullish. That definitely opens up the possibility of a rally. Okay, here's maybe an early trend change. Let's take a look what's going on in the other tools. Now we got a first micro macro cross to scalp if you want to get on board there. Here the Falcon is now going to produce well, we have the warning dots for a trend change signal. Oops, look at that. Okay, let's leave that alone. I don't like it when the market does those kinds of things. Okay, here we go with the number one signal again.
Order pending.
Let's get that out of the way.
Order filled.
All right, bring the stops back. So the Bollinger's in sync. We got the hard edge bounce slash number one signal, however you want to interpret that. Looking for a little bit of a downside move here. Little bit to follow through. And once again, if we can get about 3/4 of the way to the profit target, I will roll my stops in. Right now, I'm trying to keep them where they are. All right, stop.
Order canceled.
Whew. I thought there might have been a little bit of a follow through on that just because of the volatility today, how we're trapping a few traders. You saw a little bit of an extra push through. Oh, look at that. Look at how the buyers are pushing them back now. Just as well, I did not try to get cute with the market. Took my profit on target. Hooray for me. Well, if I wasn't done before, I would certainly be done now. So we got a $200 day going here, 200 and change. That's plenty to cover commissions and fees. And not bad, here we are, half hour in. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow. Thanks for coming out. And now we're a little congested. If you were inclined, look at what we got going on here. Another bull push, a little bit sideways congestion. That hints that maybe the next move higher will, or the next move will be a move higher. But I should also point out, look at all the candy striping and stuff going on. Look at the sideways nature of the market. We have not moved very far off of the opening numbers. The market seems to be establishing a very broad trading range. So you can see up here, it's the open. We're sitting something like that. Well, it's opening high, the open way down there. But you get my point. It's a little bit constipated. I'm going to just watch it for a little while if something interesting crops up. But, you know, like I said, the money is not made in trading more. Oh, okay. So whereas I thought the way it was looking, given that last push higher, that we may see a rally. In fact, the market now dipping back inside the trading range. And Bollinger's definitely bearish. They've been bearish since back here. Gonna get a trend change signal here. I don't know. There's certainly room here to the short side. And look, we're right back to this support zone where we keep bouncing. You could anticipate the next short signal. Let's see if we can get one. We're going to get a trend change signal here in the Falcon. We did have a nice late filter entry signal that I missed. Okay, let's take a look here at the Raptor. The Raptor and Falcon signal should coincide. Oh. Okay, so the Falcon already into a green trend line and the Hawk here into a green bar sell, which tends to develop near the end of a trend. All right, so right now it's really looking like they're fighting for direction. Okay, here the Falcon now with the trend change signal and a quick little second push opportunity. I'm going to use this bar so I don't get too far away from my entry. I could actually have tried to re-enter with a limit order near the hash mark. All right, let's see what we do here. If we can see the market try to test the top end. It's always difficult when the market does not have a discernible trend to it. But I'm relying a little bit here now on the Bollingers, looking at a bullish Bollinger, thinking, all right, maybe, just maybe we'll see a little bit of an uptick here as the market challenges the highs. If we take out these highs, there will be follow through. And once again, I'm going to get ready to sneak my stop loss order up. There we go. We're about 3/4 of the way there.
Order canceled.
And look at me taking profit on target. You hardly recognize me, I know. But what a difference it makes. Given today's volatility relative to yesterday, where I kept getting tagged at break even, we're up $300 so far, 3 for 3, or I guess 4 for 4. One trade was a break even trade. That really is my maximum on the day. Not maximum profit, but rather maximum number of trades. Well, that worked out well. I'm quite pleased. The added volatility, when it's comes out at a reasonable pace, when the chart isn't exploding in front of you, then it's I love the volatility of the NASDAQ. Well, nothing really going on here at the moment. We continue to see price swinging, and I know there are some opportunities here, especially here on the Hawk, a plethora of opportunities, namely a lot of first micro macro crosses. So first micro macro cross here, another one right here, another one right here, all of them with very nice follow through. Now that the market is swinging higher, I would obviously anticipate another first micro macro cross higher. But, and there it is right there. So the signal printing, not engaged just yet. So you could take it right here. There you go, your first micro macro cross. And give me a couple more ticks. We want to see 50 half, and that would be our profit target. So, like I say, no shortage of opportunities here this morning, but you don't want to be like a production line. You're not, each trade is not identical. And that's something, like I keep saying, a lot of traders never get their heads around. And sometimes you have to realize that you may miss the move of the day, or the move of the day may come later in the day. We've had a very active morning so far. Like I said, the market is not a machine. It will not do the same thing all the time, as much as we would like it to. Well, here we go again with a little bit of a sideways trading range. The Falcon coming up here now with a possible buy signal, looking a little bit more bullish, I have to say, in spite of the early bearishness. The number 3 signal here coinciding on the Raptor. So there's an interesting little opportunity. So bouncing off of the support zone again, that's primary support. It's funny, the market not getting enough momentum to get up here to the median line. But we've got the trend change signal. You could already be long, or you could use this red bar here as your second push opportunity and enter long above that. There we go. We would have got filled. Well, here, it's a demo room. Eric, demo it. Okay, so we're long from above this red bar. Very, very tight trading range, really stuck around this 76.50 zone. Okay, just your basic trendline touch signal now. Okay, well, you can see all the momentum very neutral right now. There we go. Okay, so here now the bullish push. The buyer's got to get up over that hump. I'll bring the stops up just a little. There we go. There we go. We're about 3/4. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that, scoundrels. So what I should have done is I should have hovered my exit order here so I could bring it up a little bit faster.
Order canceled.
Look at that. When the market starts gapping like that, that tells me there's not a whole lot in the way of market participation. So it was potentially a good trade, but you can see just by going back one more time can cause some of that nice profit to disappear. Now, again, we didn't lose more than we could afford. That's the beauty of using a tool like the trade calculator, is you do cap your risk, and the risk isn't always that total amount. It does depend on where your stop is. You can see, well, it's hard to read, but right now the risk is about $170, not the max. but your risk will be capped at that max amount. So we're still within those same numbers. The market just very content right now to move back and forth, back and forth. There won't be anything tradable here until we get outside of this trading range, which makes it very tempting to shut down the trading room at the bottom of the hour unless we see some sort of breakout, because otherwise it's just going to be more of the back and forth. And even once we do get the breakout, we have to wait for the retest. But until you get that breakout, it's going to be a little bit dodgy. All right, well, here we go. We got our little bit of a move lower now. All right, well, we saw that little rapid move lower. We're kind of back in the hard edge. I'm reaching here a little bit for a tradable trade. No, I'm not going to do it. I was going to suggest bracketing and just trying to take the breakout, but really, it's not worth the attempt. Honestly, folks, until the market gets outside of this trading range that we've established here today, you're just going to get churned by the market. So why don't we call it a day? We'll wrap up a little bit early here, and we'll do it again tomorrow. I'll talk to you then. Bye for now.